At the gate, the agent blocked me. "Your ticket was voided for a VIP," she said. My son burst into tears. I didn't argue. I just sent one message. 5 minutes later, the terminal announced, "Attention, this flight is now." The gate agent blocked my path at 6:47 p.m., her manicured hand held up like a traffic cop, her smile as fake as the potted plant beside the check-in desk. "I'm sorry, sir, but your son's ticket has been voided. We needed to accommodate a last-minute VIP passenger." I stared at her, my brain refusing to process the words. "Voided? What do you mean, voided? I paid for that seat 3 months ago. We've rebooked him on tomorrow's 6 a.m. flight. You'll receive a full refund, plus a $200 voucher for the inconvenience." My 8-year-old son Jake stood beside me, his small hand clutching the handle of his dinosaur backpack, the one his mother had bought him 2 weeks before she died. His lower lip started trembling. "But Daddy, Grammy's birthday party is tonight. You promised." The gate agent's smile didn't waver. "I apologize for any inconvenience, but company policy allows us to reassign seats for VIP passengers when necessary. Your son will be on the first flight tomorrow morning. His grandmother's 70th birthday party is tonight, in Boston. We're flying from Seattle. There are no other flights tonight." My voice was getting louder. Other passengers were starting to stare. "Sir, I understand your frustration, but..." "No, you don't understand." I could feel Jake's hand shaking in mine. His mother died 6 weeks ago. This is the first family event we've had since the funeral. His grandmother specifically planned this party so Jake could see his cousins, so he could feel like part of a family again. And you're telling me some VIP is more important than an 8-year-old boy who just lost his mother? The gate agent's expression finally shifted, not to sympathy, but to that careful neutrality that service workers adopt when they think a customer might become a problem. "Sir, I'm going to need you to lower your voice. If you continue to cause a disturbance, I'll have to call security." Jake burst into tears. Not the quiet kind that kids do when they're trying to be brave. The loud, gasping sobs of a child who'd been promised something that mattered and was watching it disappear. I pulled him against my side, felt him shaking. Around us, passengers were pretending not to watch while absolutely watching. Some looked sympathetic. Most looked annoyed that we were delaying boarding. I didn't argue, didn't yell, didn't cause the scene that was building in my chest. Instead, I pulled out my phone and sent one message to a contact I'd been avoiding for 6 weeks. Pressed send at 6:51 p.m. 5 minutes later, the terminal's overhead speakers crackled to life with an announcement that made every person in Gate 17 go silent. "Attention passengers and staff. This is Gerald Morrison, CEO of Pacific Airlines. Flight 2847 to Boston is now under direct executive review. All boarding procedures are suspended pending investigation of passenger displacement protocols. Gate Agent Taylor Simmons, please remain at your station. A member of my executive team will arrive within 10 minutes. The gate agent, Taylor Simmons, apparently, went white. Around us, passengers started pulling out their phones, filming, typing. Within seconds, I knew this was going viral. Jake looked up at me, tears still on his cheeks. "Daddy, what's happening?" "We're going to Grammy's party," I said. "I promise." I'm David Mitchell, 35 years old, software architect for Morrison Tech Solutions. I'd been working there for 7 years when I met my wife Laura at a company charity fundraiser. She was volunteering with a nonprofit that helped kids in foster care. I was pretending to understand modern art while drinking terrible wine. She made me laugh within 5 minutes by whispering, "That painting looks like a cat threw up on a canvas and they charged $8,000 for it." 6 months later, I proposed. 2 years after that, Jake was born. Laura left her job in marketing to freelance from home so she could be there when Jake got off the school bus every day. She was the kind of mother who packed elaborate lunches with notes that said things like, "You're going to do great on your spelling test," and "I love you to the moon and back." 6 weeks ago, she was driving home from picking up groceries when a drunk driver ran a red light. The police said she died on impact, didn't suffer, like that was supposed to make it better. Gerald Morrison, the CEO of Pacific Airlines, was also the founder and CEO of Morrison Tech Solutions, my actual boss. I'd worked directly with him on 3 major projects, but since Laura's death, I'd been on bereavement leave, had barely spoken to anyone from work, except for a few emails about extending my leave. The message I'd sent him was simple. "Mr. Morrison, I'm at SeaTac Gate 17. Pacific Airlines just voided my 8-year-old son's ticket to accommodate a VIP. We're trying to get to his grandmother's birthday party. His mother, my wife, died 6 weeks ago. This is the first family event since her funeral. I've never asked you for anything, but I'm asking now. Please help us." I'd hesitated before sending it. Felt like I was using Laura's death, exploiting grief, overstepping boundaries. But then I'd looked at Jake's face, seen the devastation there, and I'd stopped caring about boundaries. The gate area erupted into chaos. Taylor Simmons was on her phone speaking in urgent whispers. 2 airport security officers arrived, looking confused. Passengers were talking loudly, some defending us, others complaining about the delay. A woman in a business suit 2 rows over was filming on her phone. "This is absolutely unacceptable," she said to her camera. "They bumped a child who just lost his mother so some VIP could have his seat. This is why people hate airlines. An older man approached me. I'm a retired attorney. If you need legal representation, I'd be happy to help pro bono. What they did is potentially illegal, denying confirmed passage without proper cause. Before I could respond, a woman in an expensive pantsuit came striding down the terminal corridor like she owned it. She was maybe 50, with sharp features and sharper eyes, talking rapidly on a phone. Behind her, a man in a pilot's uniform was walking quickly to keep up. She stopped in front of Taylor Simmons. I'm Jennifer Park, VP of Customer Relations, Pacific Airlines. Mr. Morrison called me personally 4 minutes ago. I need to see the documentation for this seat reassignment immediately. Taylor's hands were shaking as she pulled up information on her computer. The VIP in question is Senator Richard Blackwell. His office called 30 minutes before departure, saying he needed to get to Boston urgently for a morning committee meeting. We have a corporate policy that allows seat reassignment for government officials and C-level executives when... Show me the specific policy document and the authorization chain. Jennifer's voice could have cut glass. Taylor clicked through screens. It's policy 47B, section 3. It says we can reassign any non-elite status passenger to accommodate. That policy was suspended 8 months ago. Jennifer interrupted. It's pending legal review after the class action lawsuit we settled for $4.3 million. Did you not receive the memo? I don't. Who authorized this specific reassignment? My supervisor, Brandon Hayes. He's the senior gate supervisor tonight. Jennifer was already dialing her phone. Brandon, this is Jennifer Park. Did you authorize gate agent Simmons to void a confirmed passenger's seat to accommodate Senator Blackwell? A pause. I don't care what you thought you remembered about policy. You just violated federal passenger protection regulations and exposed the company to massive liability. Another pause. You're suspended, effective immediately. Report to HR tomorrow at 9 a.m. She hung up and looked at me. Mr. Mitchell, I apologize on behalf of Pacific Airlines. Your son will be on this flight. In fact, you're both being upgraded to first class, and Senator Blackwell can take your original seat or wait for tomorrow's flight. Where is the senator? I asked. Already on the plane. He boarded early through the premium passenger entrance. I'd like to speak with him. Jennifer looked uncomfortable. That's not standard protocol. Neither is voiding an 8-year-old's ticket. I'd like to speak with him, please. She studied my face for a moment, then nodded. Follow me. We walked down the jetway, Jake holding my hand. He'd stopped crying, but was very quiet. That particular stillness that kids get when they're overwhelmed and don't understand what's happening. Jennifer led us onto the plane. First class was at the front, 8 rows of large leather seats. Senator Richard Blackwell was in 2A, already sipping what looked like bourbon, his laptop open on the tray table. He was in his mid-60s, with the kind of confident demeanor that came from years of having people defer to him. He looked up, annoyed. I was told boarding was delayed. What's going on? Jennifer's voice was carefully neutral. Senator Blackwell, this is David Mitchell and his son Jake. They're the passengers whose seats were reassigned to accommodate you. His expression didn't change. I'm sorry for any inconvenience, but I have an important committee meeting in the morning. These things happen in air travel. I knelt down so I was at Jake's level. Jake, remember what Mom used to say about using our words when something isn't fair? He nodded, wiping his nose with the back of his hand. She said we should be brave and tell the truth even when it's scary. That's right. Do you want to tell the senator why we needed to be on this flight? Jake looked at Senator Blackwell, his voice small but steady. My mommy died. A drunk driver hit her car. Today is my Grammy's 70th birthday party, and I haven't seen my cousin since Mommy's funeral, and Daddy promised I could go, and they told us I couldn't because you needed my seat more. His voice cracked. But I needed it too. I needed it really bad. The cabin went silent. A flight attendant near the galley was crying. Even the pilot who'd come to observe looked uncomfortable. Senator Blackwell's face had changed, the confident mask slipping. Son, I didn't know. They just told me there was a seat available. My committee meeting is about airline passenger rights, he continued, and I saw something that might have been shame cross his face, about how airlines need to do better protecting families traveling with children, and he closed his laptop. I'm the exact problem I've been trying to fix. He stood up, pulled his bag from the overhead bin. This seat is yours. Both of you should sit up here in first class. I'll take your original seats or catch tomorrow's flight. It's the least I can do. That's not necessary, I started to say. Yes, it is. He looked at Jennifer. Make it happen. And I want a full review of how this situation occurred sent to my office. This is exactly the kind of airline behavior my committee is investigating. Jennifer was already on her phone, making arrangements. Senator Blackwell knelt down in front of Jake. I'm sorry. Your mother sounds like she was a wonderful person, and I'm sorry she's not here. You enjoy that birthday party, okay? Jake nodded. Thank you. We settled into seats 2A and 2B, first class. Leather seats wide enough that Jake looked tiny in his. A flight attendant named Maria brought Jake a warm cookie and chocolate milk without being asked. She also quietly handed me a tissue and whispered, I lost my mom 3 years ago. It gets easier. Not better, but easier. The flight took off at 7:34 p.m., 37 minutes late. I'd been tracking social media on my phone before we had to turn them off. The video from the gate had already been viewed 2.3 million times. Comments were brutal. This is why we need stronger passenger protection laws. That gate agent should be fired. The kid just lost lost his mom and they tried to bump him for a senator? Disgusting. Respect to Senator Blackwell for giving up his seat, though. That's integrity. Jake fell asleep 20 minutes into the flight, his head on my shoulder, still clutching that dinosaur backpack. I sat there in the dark cabin, watching clouds slide past the window, trying to process everything that had happened. My phone buzzed with a text that had come through before I'd switched to airplane mode. From Gerald Morrison. David, I'm glad we could fix this. I'm so sorry about Laura. Take all the time you need before coming back to work. And when you do come back, I want to talk to you about leading a new project. We're building an AI system to help companies improve their customer service protocols. I think you'd be perfect for it, but we'll discuss that later. Tonight, enjoy your family. That's what matters. Gerald. I closed my eyes and let myself feel, just for a moment, how close we'd come to missing this. How if I hadn't sent that message, Jake would be in Seattle right now, crying himself to sleep, missing his grandmother's party, feeling like the world had taken one more thing away from him. Laura used to say that asking for help wasn't weakness, it was wisdom. I'd never really understood that until tonight. We landed in Boston at 4:17 a.m. local time. My mother was waiting at baggage claim, her eyes red from crying. She grabbed Jake in a hug that lifted him off his feet. My boy, my sweet boy, I'm so glad you made it. Jake told her the whole story in a rush of words, about the mean lady at the gate, about the senator giving up his seat, about the CEO making an announcement. My mother listened to every word, her hand over her heart. Your mama would be so proud of you, she told him, for being brave, for telling that senator the truth. The party was at 2 p.m. that afternoon at my mother's house. The whole family was there. My 2 sisters, their husbands, Jake's 5 cousins ranging from age 4 to 16. They'd all decorated the house with streamers and balloons. There was a cake that said, "Happy 70th birthday Grammy" in purple frosting. But they'd also done something else. In the living room, they'd set up a small memorial table with photos of Laura holding baby Jake, Laura at our wedding, Laura